Hey you guys, what's up? This is the Anime Blaze coming to you with another video. Now, in this particular video, I'm going to be doing my first impressions over the series called Desert Punk. And if you hear that noise in the background, that's probably thunder. That is, if it actually comes out in the video. That's thunder and lightning in the background, folks. But, yeah. So, usually when I do a first impressions, I usually watch like, what, one or two episodes before I actually do a first impressions. And sometimes if the series is good, I usually watch even more. Well, with Desert Punk, it was an exception. It was an exception. Um, the series, I've only watched like one. I've only seen the first episode, and I'm gonna do a first impressions based off of just the first episode alone because it was that hilarious and funny. Okay, so basically the show starts out with this guy. Like they don't actually show Desert Punk until like later in the episode, like later in the beginning. But um, but yeah, there's these desert bandits, the Kanto Desert. I'm guessing it's like a post-apocalyptic kind of thing. The city's been turned into a desert or something, and there's this gang or this group that's pretty much chasing them. This family, they beat them. They start beating them up and everything, and then Punk, Desert Punk comes out of there and says, "Are you the guys who attacked that water station a couple of miles back?" And they just show him like randomly shooting at two trucks, I guess, to carry water, and then they explode. But and then basically Punk just uses every single weapon in his inventory that he's carrying with him, and just pretty much destroys these guys. I mean, he doesn't kill them, but he just destroys them, like mentally and physically. He mentally and physically destroys them. I'm being 100% serious. And I mean, the thing about this guy is that he's a teenager. You can tell just from his personality of the way he conducts himself with the main, not the main character, but one of the women characters throughout the show. He's like constantly in contact with her. He's like, hey, he makes so many jokes about her. Like, I mean, it's obvious that he is obsessed with this woman. And he wants her. I mean, it's so obvious. He makes so many references to to like physical features, I guess you could say. Um, he makes so many references to it. I mean, in one sentence, he mentioned. I mean, he mentioned it probably about 8 times in the same sentence, talking about the woman's chest. 8 times in one sentence, and it wasn't even really a sentence, but still, I mean, 8 times. That's a lot of time just to be talking about that. I mean, just from that, you can tell where his mind was at. And it's every single time, from what I can tell. And this looks like it's going to play out and be like a running gag in the entire series, but I'm not entirely sure. I haven't watched the entire series yet, but I'm probably going to wind up marathoning the whole thing just because it's that hilarious. But yeah, this was pretty much, I guess you could say, a challenge that well, not really a challenge, but it was a penalty I got for not naming at least one anime that Sasuke Dragon FD actually knew. You know, I guess. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, but it was still pretty fun doing the whole thing. But you know, I don't care that I lost, but it was just fun. But I'm glad I at least got something to like lighten up the mood or something because it seems like most of the anime shows that I've been getting, that I've been trying to review and everything, are pretty much, I guess you could say, serious or something like that, more or less serious on like every single note. But I'm glad I got something to lighten up the mood a little bit, something with some comedy and action and everything. But yeah, another thing I like about the show is that there are so many hilarious one-liners. I can tell that there's going to be a lot of one-liners just from the first episode alone. I know it. So yeah, um, definitely going to watch the rest of Desert Punk. Uh, it wasn't that bad of a penalty. I'll say that much. But you'll definitely see a review of Desert Punk. I'm not sure how soon. It all depends on how fast I watch the series. But yeah, you'll definitely be seeing um, a review of the whole entire series when I'm done watching it. So with that being said, this is the Anime Blast signing out, saying I'll catch you guys later. And watch Desert Punk. It's not bad. Trust me.